Hello there, and welcome to the Elstein Film Podcast. Hello there, and welcome to the Elstein Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz like there's no tomorrow. This week, we're talking about Thor: The Dark World. I fluffed that one up. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host John.
Hello there. You're right there, Tom.
Honestly, I'm in such a rush. There's literally a truck getting ever closer to my house.
I'm having the same problem as well. I'm like beep beep beep. I'm trying to get everything set up. I'm like, oh no, is that going to be something really bad for the podcast?
It's. Oh, I mean, I hope no one can hear it, but it's a truck full of fence panels. We're putting up new fences today. So it's steadily getting closer, and I'm on a time limit. So let's talk Thor: The Dark World. What is widely considered the worst MCU movie? What do you think?
I just more pain. So the first time I saw it was back in 2013. Oh my god, 2013! Wow,
a right old yonk ago.
Wow. And then the first time I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool film. When I saw it, I was like really mesmerized by the CGI and the cool stuff about Thor.
Well, this is your first MCU movie that you saw at the cinema, right?
Yeah, at the cinema. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, looking back at the film just this week, I was just like, it can't be that bad, can it? You know, just I haven't seen the film for a while. It's that bad.
Yeah, no, I was the same. I remember I used to love it, and I turned it on and I was like, this film is probably better than people say. Let's be honest. I used to love it. It's probably not amazing, but no, it's pretty bad. It's not good, is it?
No, it's not. Like, there's a lot of problems that we'll get into, like the villain.
Oh, one of the all-time worst. I mean, I think just everything about this film, it's so pointless. It's so forced. Like, everything about it is just like reaching. It's a film where like they're like, okay, so spoilers, but we got to kill Frigga. We're gonna force the relationship between Frigga and everyone else. We have to force the plot to bring back Loki. You know, we got to kind of like forcibly like add the dark elves in there. It feels like a film that could be really cool, but is just really boring, and it forces the human characters from the first film back into it, and all of it feels so like this is the first MCU film that wasn't produced by Paramount. This is the first Disney MCU film, and it's a terrible start. I mean, like, granted, they did then do Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier in 2014, but like this is just not good.
No, it's not even good. Oh no, Christopher Eccleston, no, he's such a great actor. And then he gets to play Malekith, who is just a really forced character into the film. Like, the elves, as you said, is a really cool concept. I mean, I've been reading it in the Mighty Thor comics, and they're pretty exactly like that. I thought
even visually, like Malekith in those comics is so much cooler. He's wearing red. He's got blue on his face. He's got long hair. Yeah. He's slender and kind of like goblin-like. He looks really cool. In this, he's just like literally visually a black and white villain who by the end becomes gray. Like, when he absorbs the ether, he just becomes fully gray, and it's so boring. And his characterization, he doesn't even have any characterization. I couldn't even tell you what his motivation is. Is it revenge, I guess?
I don't know. Is it getting the ether? Is it going to get that? I don't know. It's weird. Like, you're trying to guess all the way through the film. Like, well, why is he doing this then? Yeah.
I think there's a line. I think there's a moment where he says something like, I will get back at the Asgardians for what they did to me. Something generic like that. All of his dialogue is so incredibly generic.
He's just a one-dimensional villain.
Absolutely.
You just don't know what his goals are, like his backstory.
Phase 2 of the MCU really does suffer from some pretty bad villains. And I feel like this is probably still the worst MCU villain. I can't think of anyone worse. Like, this is pretty bottom of the barrel.
Captain Marvel's kind of there. I mean,
oh yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a very good point. I mean,
genuinely, that's a contender right there.
I agree, but genuinely, this out of the MCU films that I've rewatched recently, I wouldn't say this is my least favorite MCU film, and I will say why. I think that this film is better than Far From Home, just by a bit. Now, if you guys listen to the pod, you know, John, you'll know that I hate just a little bit, but I hate Far From Home. I really hate it.
Of course you do. You've been saying it across episodes.
Hey, yes, you know that they're re-releasing No Way Home at the cinema.
But why?
An extended cut 15 minutes extra.
Wow.
Yeah, could be interesting. Who knows? But anyway, I think one of the big reasons why I don't like Far From Home, and we did do an episode in the MCU Spider-Man movie, so you can go and watch that if you want in-depth thoughts. But I don't think that film understands Spider-Man, and for all of its faults, I genuinely think that Thor: The Dark World understands Thor. Thor's characterization in this is genuinely, I think, really good. I think that the idea that, he kind of starts the film struggling to kind of connect after everything that he lost in the first film, he's still kind of like grieving, not being able to see Jane and stuff. The arc of the first film was him becoming humble, him realizing that he's not ready for the throne. And in this one, he just does away with that entirely. And he says, actually, I don't want it. It's not that he's not ready for it. It's that he doesn't want the throne. And it comes back in the final scene of the film. And I think it's genuinely a really good arc for him. And the film really understands Thor for all of its faults, for all of its terrible characterization and forced jokes and all this stuff that I didn't like. I think it gets Thor right.
Yeah, I agree. There was some stuff about the character arc, so that's one good thing that was happening in the film. Yeah, the Aether concept was weird. It just didn't explore as much, like, what were the possibilities. I mean, it kind of did at the beginning, like with the flying trucks, I guess, with the flying trucks or something. And
of course, the flying trucks.
Yeah, the flying trucks.
Yes.
I completely forgot. Sorry to go off track with the actor from IT Crowd. Was that there?
Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah, Chris O'Dowd. Yeah.
He's there. There are some really weird, like.
Sure.
Okay, so the side characters weren't amazing in the first film, but they're not terrible. But in this film, oh my god. Okay, Darcy is even worse, and she has her own intern called Ian, who is literally. I don't even know why Ian is there. Then Selvig's gone crazy. Instead of exploring, what happened with him in Avengers, like he has one line where he says, "I've had a god in my brain." Like that's interesting. Like, how did it affect him? Does he feel any guilt over what happened? No, he's just running naked in Stonehenge. Sure.
The funny thing about that is that when I watched that in cinemas, I had no context to like the Avengers. I mean, I kind of did know what was happening in the Avengers, and then I thought, oh, is this some mad scientist or something? Just does know what happened. And it's a lot sadder because that's a line that I have a god in the brain, and it could be really cool concept to learn, but no, he just runs around Stonehenge.
I don't know what they're doing with him. I think similar with Jane as well. Jane is so forced into the plot. They're like, oh, okay, how do we get Jane back in this? I guess she's the vessel of, like, in the first film, she was like an active character. She was a scientist. She was investigating everything. In this film, basically, as soon as she gets exposed to the ether, she just kind of becomes boring. And obviously, this is the last time that we've seen Jane until Love and Thunder. I hope that they make her more interesting in Love and Thunder. I hope they give her something.
I hope it's not
cancer. Give her cancer.
Bro, that's out of context, bro.
Out of context, that makes no sense. Yeah, give her cancer, everyone.
No, but yeah,
seriously, they got to make her more interesting.
Yeah, do the cancer story because we need another strong female character. Like in the beginning of the Thor trilogy, ignore me. Like at the beginning, we got Jane Foster, who's this a great character, but then in there she's just pulled in because this Aether thing.
Yeah,
it's like reality stone.
There aren't even that many scenes where Thor and Jane talk. The chemistry they had in the first film isn't there because instead of having those two interact, they bring Loki back into it. And Loki largely doesn't have a role in this film. I guess the only reason he's there is because he was so popular in Avengers, and so they can set up him being Odin. We'll get to that when we do Ragnarok, but they really don't do anything with him taking the Asgardian throne.
Oh yeah, the funny thing is that when I had this dream before seeing Thor: The Dark World. I don't know, it was like I was in Asgard looking through the security cameras or something, and I see Loki just taking Odin or something like that.
Oh, it's a deleted scene where he just kind of like throttles him.
He's just like, oh, okay, father, time to go to your old people's home in New York.
Yeah. I mean, like, I genuinely think that his death scene is actually quite good. Where he quote unquote dies. He actually doesn't die. But what's interesting about that is that like they genuinely like they don't set that up at all. So it's, even if it was real, it's not believable at all, because he goes through no arc. He just kind of like is there, and like he's upset because Frigga's dead, even though he has one scene with her. Like, I think the best scene in the film is Frigga's funeral. I think it's amazing when they're all standing there. I mean, they're mostly just standing against green screens, but like, they're standing there and they watch all the boats go out, and they set them on fire, like taking them to Valhalla. And I think it's beautiful and really touching, and you feel the emotions in that moment. But I'm sorry, but Frigga did nothing in the first film, and the only moments she has in this film are so forced. They're only there so she can die and it can be somewhat emotional. Like, come on, it's really not good.
Yeah, it's not looking really good. Like, she just used for catalyst for Thor, just to, just for revenge against Malekith. I mean, the funeral scene looked amazing because it's a really good reference to Norse mythology. They shoot the arrows, put it just to the boat, and then pretty emotional with that. Yeah, but no, Frigga character just did nothing.
She honestly is the biggest, because you think about that amazing scene in Endgame where Thor gets the chance to speak to his mum again. I think it's a really, really good scene. I'm not a huge fan of Thor in that film, but I think that scene is amazing. And then you think about how little Frigga is in Thor and in the Dark World. It's not only a waste of Rene Russo, but also like, it doesn't sell this death. It doesn't sell these moments, like obviously, and even Odin in this one. Odin has this moment after Frigga dies. He has this moment where he yells and he's like, how many people has to die? And he's like, as many as are needed. And he has like but that never comes back again. We don't really see him after that. Like he's either angry in this film or just kind of like passive. Like he literally, like in the second scene where Loki's put into prison, he's just like, your birthright was to die. He's just so over the top. And I mean, I guess Anthony Hopkins is having fun with it, but still, I feel like it's different to what was in the first film.
Yeah, he's having fun, I guess. Like, just not having a clue what's happening, but yeah. Oh, what else? Oh, the score.
Okay. I mean, I think the score is amazing, but why didn't they bring back Patrick Doyle? His score for the first film, we talked about it when we did the first film. It's such a good score. I don't know why they didn't bring him back. Like, it's such a shame.
I don't know why. It's just so annoying. Like, if a composer knows exactly like character, bring him back. It's that emotion brings back, everything, that motif of the character and what we know. But no, they just got another composer like Silvestri. He did scores for Avengers and they brought him back. But no, they just
Yeah, I think I'm just looking this up now, but I think the person who did this film is Brian Tyler. That's interesting. He also does the score for Guardians of the Galaxy. So, oh wait, no, he doesn't. He does the score for Iron Man 3.
Bates.
Yeah, it is Tyler Bates. Brian Tyler does the score for Iron Man 3. So for some reason, Brian Tyler does the score for Thor and Iron Man 3 back to back, and that's it. Like, the MCU has this really frustrating problem where they just don't keep the same composers for a character, or like, it's getting better now. Like, you think about the Homecoming trilogy, Michael Giacchino did the score for all of those. But then you think about Doctor Strange, like Danny Elfman doesn't really use any of the themes from the first film in Multiverse of Mad. Like, it's really just disappointing. And in Thor, you got Patrick Doyle doing the first one, Brian Tyler doing the second, and Mark Mothersbaugh doing the third and fourth. Like, it's disappointing. They're all good in their own ways, but where's the musical continuity? Like, I feel like there'd be so, like, the score from the first film slaps, and this score also slaps, but there is no continuity there. And therefore, like, the film feels in itself so much different from the first one.
Yeah, and it just brings this very weird vibe. Like, it's Thor, but you're not sure how to get along with it. You know what I mean? Just like, some of that I thought it was just a bit out of touch, because with that amazing score from Thor, What else was bad in this film?
Most of it. I mean, I felt like, so the film opens up with a really, really bad exposition scene.
Oh god, yeah.
Which is just a load of actors on green screen and some really, really bad
Odin.
CG. Odin. No, it's King
Yes.
Boar. It has like
That guy.
it looks like when a game has its reveal trailer and it
Of course,
doesn't
yeah.
use gameplay. It instead has cinematics.
Yeah.
It looked like that. It looked like a video game. It looked like, I don't know.
It does. It
looked like
yeah.
it looked like a medieval Halo or something, and it was really, really jarring. And what I didn't like so much about that scene is that they then re-explain it later on. And here's what I think happened. I think because they also showed the news report of Selvig running naked in Stonehenge twice, and I reckon that they changed it. So they had the film originally opening up with Loki kind of being arrested, and then they added that opening scene with the exposition of the Dark Elves purely so they could like explain it more succinctly to the audience and more visually. But it just doesn't. I just don't know why they do it twice. Like, why explain it to us twice? It doesn't, like, it's just wasting time, and it feels extra clunky.
Yeah, the film's pointless. There you go. See, solved. We said the film.
It really is. You could take this film out, and apart from Endgame, where they go back to it, it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, everything in this film, like, you don't have to do Frigga's death. You don't have to do like with stuff, someone's Loki. Just do like a really interesting concept for Thor. You know, how does he go through his character journey? Like, oh my god, it's so jarring as well. If you watch this in a trilogy, and you go from a really good, fantastic film, Thor, and then you got Thor: The Dark World, and you got Thor: Ragnarok.
Yeah, they're all so different. But like, this film opens with Thor. He's fighting in the Nine Realms, and it opens with a genuinely good scene where he kind of faces off against Korg. It is actually Korg, and then they retconned it later on. But that's a better premise. Thor going through all the Nine Realms, stopping chaos, like, and you could have the Dark Elves being at the head of that chaos, and Malekith, like, that could be such a better film. But no, John, we got to go to jolly old London.
Oh, London. Yeah, not.
We got to eat some shreddies. Why can't you do a British accent, John?
Bottle of water.
You are literally from Britain.
I got me bottle of water. We're going to London Eye. You know, the fish and chippies.
I don't know why you can't do a British accent. You're literally from England.
Bottle of water.
You sound like you're an American trying to do a British accent.
I know. It's. I've been watching too many films when I was young.
It's okay. So have we all. I want to genuinely say, I think the practical effects in this are really good. All the costumes and all the sets are really impressive. I love the way the new Bifrost looks, and you know, I think that there are some genuine, like, really good stuff in it. But some of the CGI, especially the green screen, is horrible. Oh my god,
it is horrible,
like, it's
man.
so noticeable. It's distracting.
Yeah. One thing that what you said about that the practical costume. What was the tree character? I forgot his name.
Tree character?
No, not the tree character. It's not Groot.
Treebeard?
Not Treebeard, man. This is not Lord of the Rings.
No, it wants to be Lord of the Rings, though. This film is trying to do Lord of the Rings but Thor, and it doesn't work. It does not work, man.
Right. I'm just looking at the cast and trying to find this character. Oh, Curse. That's his name, Curse.
Yeah. The guy who kills Frigga. Oh, wait, is it Malekith who kills Frigga? Somebody does.
I don't know. We don't care about, like, this film, really. Yeah, Curse. Is that practical CGI? Because it looks very CGI.
I think
Curse.
I think it's a mix. I think it's a mix between the two. But
yeah,
the guy who
played looks great. Yeah.
The guy who played Curse played Killer Croc in Suicide Squad. So
way.
But yeah, I mean, the Warriors 3 are back. Woohoo. Zachary Levi is playing Thandril now. He's Shazam. That's funny. Did you notice that he'd been recast?
No. Really?
Yeah. It's Zachary Levi who plays Shazam. So the original actor from the first Thor isn't here anymore. I don't know why.
No.
My favorite character.
The three.
But they also...
Let me tell you, the three...
They're barely in it in this one, the Warriors 3. I don't even remember all their names, but there's one of them who literally stays on his planet the whole time. Okay. Well, Sif isn't technically part of the Warriors 3,
Oh,
but
is she?
no, she's separate. It's like the Three Musketeers. She's the D'Artagnan.
Yeah,
But
true.
like they also try to do this whole like love triangle with Sif, Jane, and Thor. Why? I don't know.
Oh yeah. That is the most forgettable thing about this film. Like, I don't think Thor had any relations with Sif, I guess.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
no,
know.
they just kind of add it in there for no. I mean, Sif could be so cool. She could be so interesting. Like what we got of her in the first film is genuinely like a tease, but we didn't really get anything in this one. And she's not even in Ragnarok. I mean, like, you know, she's in Loki and she was in Agents of Shield, but like she doesn't really do much. And you know, obviously she's still alive. She's not dead or anything. She still exists in the universe. But yeah, they could do so much more with her.
Yeah, and then the Warriors 3, it's just so sad. Like, in the first film, they're promised to be like something really cool.
Mm.
And then in the second one, they're barely in it. And then and then Ragnarok, let's just say they got the screen time cut off.
Yeah, they really did get many things cut off. I do have to say though, post credits we see Sif and one of the others. They go to the collector and they give their aether to the collector. And what I think is interesting about this is that he gets the aether and he says 1 down, 5 to go. And then we see him again in Guardians of the Galaxy and he's trying to get the Power Stone. So clearly the collector is trying to collect all the Infinity Stones. Why did we not explore that? That is so interesting. That is so cool. Why did we not explore that in Ragnarok or in Guardians 2 or in Captain Marvel? We could have genuinely explored the collector as a character, because in the comics, when Thanos gets all the stones or gems in the comics, you know, going through the collector is like a big part of that. And in the film, it happens off screen. Like we could genuinely explore the collector's motivations. You know, we could have had Benicio del Toro in quite a couple of MCU movies, you know, leading up to his eventual demise. But what a waste, man. What a waste of Benicio del Toro and the concept of the collector trying to collect all the Infinity Stones. That's really interesting.
That'd be so interesting. Like, why would he be collecting them? You know, as a collector, you know, does he? Ooh, that would be really interesting. Like, what if he, you know, wants to collect planets or universes? Ooh.
What, like Brainiac? He just shrinks them. Oh my god, that is my Jesus
Brainiac.
Christ. John, there's a big spider. Holy shit. It just came from behind my TV. Help. John, this is spider.
Okay. Step 1.
Jesus. Step 1, drink the rest of my water so I can trap it in a glass.
Sure. Yeah. Just get a glass.
Oh wait, it's gone. It's gone behind my shelves now. Oh my god. That was terrifying. It literally just okay.
Okay, I think some spiders trying to invade our podcast.
I think I'm about to become a Spider-Man. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's pizza time. Anyway,
Thor: The Dark Worlds. What you can give it out of 10?
Okay, with some of the stuff like with good arcs for Thor, but everything in this film was just so pointless. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10.
I agree. 3 out of 10. It's about as bad as everyone says, but but not necessarily the worst of the MCU for me.
Oh, we don't want to talk about the worst one.
Oh god. I mean, we are literally, I mean, it's either the worst one is either Far From Home, Ant-Man and the Wasp, or Captain Marvel. And we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel sometime in the next year. So get excited. But get even more excited, because next week we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion, and I want to die. We've already seen it.
I always seen it.
Bad.
And next week I got a really funny story while watching the film.
Good.
It's something that's gonna light us up, and oh my god, I can't wait to tell it. So
you set it up for an amazing punchline, an amazing conclusion. So it better be good.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. We enjoyed talking about Thor: The Dark World. Yeah. Just give it away, Tom. Just do what you do.
Like if you enjoyed it, and you can check out our podcast on Thor, and we'll be doing Ragnarok and Love and Thunder in the next few weeks. So stay tuned if you want to see more, and subscribe, because we've got a ton of MCU content. We're doing new films. So we did Top Gun last week, obviously Jurassic World the week after that, and you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Outstime Film Pod. You give us an email, tell us what you think of Thor: The Dark World. Do you think it's the worst of the MCU? Do you think it's worse than Far From Home? Or just ask us anything, and we'll answer and reply to any of that stuff on the podcast itself if you email us outsidefilmpod@gmail.com. And that's everything from me.
Yeah, that's everything as well. Oh, and also, Morbius, of course.
Of course I know Morbius, John. We did an
I'm
episode of Morbius as well.
No. It's funny because they tried to bring. Okay, in US, they brought the film back, and it just completely flopped. Made only $83,000.
Did you see that Jared Leto did a video where he had a script of Morbius 2? It's Morbin time. Oh no! This is what memes.
He just killed the meme. He just killed the meme,
man. Yeah, but we did do an episode on Morbius, so if you guys are interested in it, we just talk about Morbius for an hour.
No. If you want to
get Morb, guys, just get Morb.
Oh, it's Morbin time. Just comment Morbin time on Morbius. That would be great. Just to,
Oh my god! There was such a bad line in Jurassic World. We'll talk about it next week. If anything is gonna make you want to listen to us talk shit about Jurassic World Dominion, there is a line where Ellie, Laura Dern's character, says about Ian, Jeff Goldblum's character, he slid into my DMs. I want to die. I want to die. I have so many thoughts.
I was so confused when watching that. I was just like,
oh my god, I could go on about this.
That's not real. That's not real.
We are at the end of this video, but I could genuinely talk about this forever.
Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about it.
I hated it so much.
Funny to me.
Oh my god,
the film's just so funny to me. I just don't know. It's hilarious. Yeah. It's hilariously bad. I can't even say it. Hilariously funny bad. There you go. Funny. It's funny bad.
I did not have fun. I'm sorry. Did you see it with, did you see it with like a lot of people?
I was with my family.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.